Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Totally VR podcast. We got some incredible news coming up, but before we do, let's get started. My name is Controser. You can also call me Con, and I'm here with my two co-hosts.
Hello, it's me, Flat.
It is I, Zycu. Good evening. Or
Alrighty,
morning, wherever you are.
wherever you are. It's a pleasure to have you
It's
here.
evening for me.
So, before we get going, if you would like to join us or even listen to the podcast live, you can do so in our Discord community, discord.gg/tvr, or you can come join us in our VRChat group, tvr.2006, to really come hang out and have a lot of fun. We're always gaming, so it's always good. At least once a
Always got
week.
events going on too.
True, at least 2 or 3 a week typically, but sometimes one.
The
Now,
plug.
blah. Now I want to get started in the big news because Steam, after how many years, has finally announced the next hardware that's coming out after the Index.
Oh, what?
Yeah, that thing that they released back in 2019.
Yeah, literally 6 years, I
So
think.
about 6 years.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
it
it's
was in
coming. It's
April or
coming out next
something.
year, so it's gonna be It's gonna be a total of 7 years before their next update their hardware. And
It is crazy. And they did not just release one piece of hardware.
no, could have been cool if it was like, here's the new headset, but they didn't do that. They were like, hey, here's a new controller. Also,
Triple kill.
for your new controller, here's a new gaming console PC. And also, in case you're wondering, here's a new headset too. So they triple whammied us. The whole
Yeah,
ecosystem. Yeah, that's absolutely right, movie.
they handed out like so much stuff. It must have been why it was taking them so long. I'm
Yeah.
surprised they actually kept this all silent for so long. Cause having like 3 pieces of hardware coming out and no one saying like a word about it. I mean, there was a leak or so, like maybe a week or 2 weeks before they finally announced it, but
Yeah, I mean, there's been rumors going for a while, since 2020, I think, because I've been literally on the edge of my seat waiting. Because I had the Vive, right? And then the original HTC Vive. And then I finally upgraded, probably 2 years ago, maybe 1 year ago, to the Index. Because I was waiting so long to see if they'd come up with something after the Index, and they just never did. So I was like, okay, Index then. That's what we're going to do. Finally got the Index, and it's worked okay. But I've had some issues, especially because I'm still using my 1.0 base stations. And the controllers are very, very flimsy. So I was like, you know what? I don't want to spend
they
another.
are.
Yeah, I don't want to spend another
I hate
$300 to
those
fix
index
these
controllers.
controllers again because I did it once already. I've been through 2 sets
And
of
they are not
controllers.
cheap either.
No, $300 is not cheap, and I didn't want to
I'm
go
on my third set.
buying. Ah, yeah. See, exactly. And I didn't want to go buying a whole new base station set because I'm like, well, what if they come up with base station 3.0s? What am I gonna do then?
Yeah, man, I wish they would just make a headset that just like had the cameras built in or something.
Damn, could you imagine?
Wow. It's crazy.
Then they decided, you know what? Now is the time. He's been waiting patiently enough. Now we will announce the new one. So in
Yeah,
comes
so
the
there's
Steam frame.
yeah,
So I
there's
got the
3 big pieces.
Yeah.
We want to start on the first one.
specs pulled up for the Steam frame. If you want to run through it real quick.
Should we start with the headset since that's the biggest news for us and then go on to the other parts after?
Heck
Yeah,
yeah.
the frame is the most important part.
That's true.
All right. So we have the Steam frame. Processor is a 4 nanometer Snapdragon 8 Gen 3. All right. It has 16 gigabytes of RAM.
Ooh.
LPDDR5X. That storage can be anywhere between 256 gigabytes or the 1 terabyte. It also
A
has a
terabyte?
slot for terabyte. It also has a
Wow.
slot for a micro SD card for expanded storage. The the power does have a USB 2.0 charging in the rear for data as
Surprising
well.
it's not 3.0.
Yeah, it is a little surprising. The head strap includes integrated dual audio drivers with a rechargeable battery on the rear. The head strap weight is 245 grams, and the core module can be separated from the head strap for other head strap solutions. So you can swap your head strap out for a different one. The display is 2160 by 2160 LCD per eye. So unfortunately, the leaks were wrong
Oh,
about it
true.
being OLED. Um, the refresh rate is 72 by 144 hertz refresh rate, so that's not terrible. The
No.
optics are custom
That's really good.
pancake lenses. The glass and non-glass optimal elements has a large FOV up to 110 degrees. The IPD
Bumblebee.
range is between 60 millimeters to 70 millimeters. With glasses, the max width of that range is 140. Um, the camera tracking, inside out camera, base tracking, of course, so no base stations. It has 4 outward facing monochrome cameras for controller and headset tracking, and 2 interior cameras for eye tracking.
Ooh.
And I can't say this word, for
Foveated?
foveated streaming.
Yeah.
So that also includes monochrome pass through via outward facing cameras. It has a low light support, so if you like to play in the dark, it has IR
Hey.
illuminators for tracking and pass through in dark environments. The expansion, there's a note for expansion saying that there's a user accessible front expansion port, so you could probably do some cool DIY projects and some cool things with that expansion port.
Yeah. I will say.
It
Go
yeah,
ahead.
I was going to get to the Wi-Fi details or like the connectability details. So
Oh, okay.
essentially, we have Wi-Fi 7 as so it's Wi-Fi 7 compatible. There's dual radios to enable concurrent 5G Wi-Fi and 6G uh, VR streaming. So that's really good for seamless pass through
Mm-hmm.
and wireless connections. It also has Bluetooth 5.3 tracking and 2.4 gigahertz dedicated link for the Steam Frame controllers. And there's
Nice.
only 3 more notes here. The audio has dual speakers, so dual speaker drivers per ear, and a dual microphone array. The
Yeah.
overall size is it's 175 millimeters by 175 by 95 by 110 millimeters, and that includes everything the headset is except for the controllers. The overall weight of the headset is 100 and overall weight of the headset with the head strap attached is 440 grams. And the operating system
Yeah.
is, of course, the legendary SteamOS 3, which is Arch based.
Very, very
And that
nice.
is the core specs there.
Yeah.
We can get into the specs of the controllers, but they are just standard controllers similar to the uh, Quest controllers. You don't look too much into that, and you can find out or look over all those details
No.
yourself on the steampowered.com website.
Yeah, I will say
What are your thoughts,
with those
guys?
controllers, there is a really nice feature added where it's got the index finger tracking on the controllers, even though it's the shape of the Quest. And they actually have separate straps that you can get to put it on as if it was an index controller, where it like grips you on the outside of the hand, so that you can let your hand completely go and have the controller still there. Super nice.
I wouldn't mind trying out these controllers though.
Yeah,
They
no,
look pretty cool.
I'm
Compared
willing
to
to
the
try
controllers I
everything.
have now, I wouldn't mind trying them out.
So I'm actually kind of disappointed with this. I don't, for one thing, I didn't see any notes on the spec screen about how long the expected battery life is of this wireless headset. On top of that, we didn't get the uh, OLD. Did I say that right? OLED.
Yeah,
We didn't
OLED.
get the
Yeah.
OLED. That is a big thing for me. I want OLED. I want my dark spaces to be truly dark. And we also didn't get the 4K resolution that we were all expecting, or at least close to.
Oh,
That's
true.
weird. It says the battery life of the controllers. It does not say the battery life of the headset on the
Yet
specs.
I did see that as well. I did some deep diving myself because I'm actually very interested in getting this, obviously, because my headset has been in need of improvement. And the battery life of the headset, from what I could find, will be anywhere from the low end of 1 hour to the high end of 4 hours, which is relatively good for a standalone unit. You're going to averagely get about 2 to 3 hours of play time. I imagine 4 is going to be if you're running on the lowest frame rates with the lowest settings. And then going to the 1 hour is if you're doing it standalone in an intensive game with the experimental 144 refresh rate. That's what I would assume.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this is all based on things that we can expect from basic knowledge, but it's really interesting to see where all this stuff is going. I agree with you that the OLED is a big miss. I wish that it did have OLED panels, but I understand why they went with the pancake LCDs. And it's just that in the pancake's shape in particular and the way that those work, OLED is just not quite there for the refresh rates and the type of things they're trying to do. And if you were to get an OLED panel that is capable of that, like the mini LEDs, like the Big Screen Beyond 2 has, you're going to be really rocketing that price up. Now, we don't know what the price of the units are. That is my biggest gripe now. Where I'm like, if they sit there and say, hey, this is a $800 headset, I'm like, oh, I'm in. But if they sit there and
really?
say, hey,
800 is it for you?
Yeah, I mean, I would be okay with 800 because if you were to take the Index with all of its accessories, the base stations, the controllers, and the headset, that's $1,000 for all of that.
So so what you're saying is if like the whole set here
Which is the headset
$800
and controllers,
altogether.
yeah, with the strap, then I would be totally fine. If they're like, hey, for $800 you get this whole unit with controllers, I think that's a good number. It wouldn't be as competitive as Meta, but they're also not trying to necessarily compete with Meta because Meta is a standalone headset that can also stream. But if you look at all the marketing for the Steam headset, it is a streaming headset that can also stand alone, which is very different.
Different approach for sure. I think that what we're seeing here, all these, I don't want my base stations to go to waste.
I do.
Granted, if they had like upgraded base stations for this new headset and IR tracking for new base stations, I think that would have been cool. But ultimately, I think they're making a lot of decisions here to actually be a competitor with Meta in some degree. I understand they're not exactly in the same stadium as Meta,
Yeah.
but at the same time, they are a competitor when it comes to VR gaming. I think that there's a lot of potential that they could have had with OLED, and there are solutions to OLED. For example, we have the Big Screen Beyond who uses OLED, which is why I'm leaning towards getting one of those now that this is surfaced.
But something
depending
else
on
to
that
keep in mind
price
is
point,
that Big Screen Beyond doesn't have any of the features that the Steam does. It doesn't have the foveated rendering. It doesn't have the which foveated rendering is part of the reason that they can't use OLED as well because of how intensive that is. And the other factors that play into part is the big screen doesn't have the outside in tracking. It's just a display. It doesn't have any audio. It's just a display, and it's $1,300.
it falls into the needs of the user.
Yeah.
And for me, I don't need a headset that has camera tracking. I need a headset that does base station tracking, as well as a headset that is small in form factor and OLED, because that is preferred for me. I think this is a great headset, and I can promise you, if it's below $800, I'll get it. However, I have my eyes still fixated after this announcement on the big screen personally.
That's fair. That's
well, what do you need the base stations for then? What would you
I just don't
need
want my
the
base stations
station
to go to waste.
I will say the one thing I don't know.
Well, they won't go to waste. You'll still be able to use them for your full body tracking. It's not like you're not going to be able to.
Valve already released camera-based full body tracking.
Oh,
they did. Well, then you're still it still is. They're not going to go to waste. Then you could still use your base stations for your current full body tracking.
I'll be looking forward to getting rid of my stuff and just having clean walls and not having these things sticking off of them that make sound. That'd be
also,
nice.
I think from what my from what movie is telling me also, the big screen beyond has worse refresh rate than the
That is true.
frames. They
Speaking
have
of,
90 versus Steam frames like 77 to 144.
yeah, speaking of
I remember when
movie, your
the standard
boy,
was
who's
40.
also a friend.
Yes, we should invite on
Yeah,
my local
let me send an invite to him. To
Before you
speak.
pull him in,
Oh,
I
okay.
will say though, I do, like I said, if the price point is good, I do plan on getting this because this is an excellent solution for me to use whenever I go on deployment. I think it'd be an
Oh.
excellent way for me to take
Travel
gear
wise, it's crazy.
overseas. Yeah, it's a really great system. It's just not what I want, if that makes sense.
That's
Yeah.
also why I'm gonna stick with what I have and not upgrade.
Yeah,
It'll be nice
I'm
not to have to
most
lug around those
excited-
space stations
I'm most excited.
across the world.
Like movie mentioned in the chat, and we're pulling him in now. Hello, movie. Glad to have you here.
Hello.
Welcome, movie.
Hello. Thank you. My name is Movie.
Yeah,
Hi,
I got a little still image of you in the video, so people will get to see a version of your model. It's very crudely
Yeah.
cropped because I didn't have a lot of time, but
Don't worry, I know.
yeah, movie did mention in the chat that the weight of the new Steam frame is actually half of the index's weight, and that is impressive.
Yeah, it is impressive because the index is roughly 900 grams,
Mhm.
and I think I think it's 440 the one for like.
Let me see. I'm actually on it right now. The weight says
440.
it
Yeah,
says
it is
440.
Yeah, that's
440,
crazy light.
Yeah, it's mostly because at least I think what like Bob's philosophy with this headset, and that might be also why we don't have like cutting edge features like OLED as well. It's because first of all they thought I think they thought this headset firstly for to kind of like fit their ecosystem of like
Mhm.
streaming, like so you can like use the headset as a display for the Steam console as well as your computer.
Yeah.
So I think they thought about that first before just a VR headset, because they obviously wanted to be more than just something that you just plug in to get on VR. You plug it in on your on your console, on your Steam console, and then you use it as a display.
That's
I
true.
believe as far as the price goes, I do believe that. I mean, at least I'm hoping too that it's like roughly like kind of like not above 1,000, because I feel like they would want not to only pull the people that might be upgrading from the index, but also the people that might want an alternative to the Quest, especially because of the perks that the Steam frame has over that. I feel like it probably will have over the Meta Quest because of being part of the Steam ecosystem that they're building.
How much is
It's
it?
gonna have more
Quest 3
compatibility.
again?
The Quest 3,
It
I
is.
believe, is $500.
It is
500.
500.
Jesus.
Yeah.
I think it is.
No,
How do they sell that?
It is competitively low because they sell the hardware at part of a loss, only because it makes them a lot more money when they can take the data that they get from your headset, like your eye tracking and your head tracking and the places you look the most and that kind of stuff. They take all that data and they sell it to
Good
advertisers.
Lord, Meta loves
Not-
doing that. They
Not
love
to mention the
doing that.
royalty on in-game apps.
All right.
Oh, true. Yeah.
Yeah.
The amount of money they can make off the in-game apps that they have set as this is ours, So that kind of stuff they make money off of as opposed to the hardware. A lot of game
because
companies
I do
that.
believe they have exclusives on the MetaQuest as well.
Mhm.
So they also
Yeah.
have that.
They do.
I also wanted to speak a little bit on foveated streaming,
Yeah.
because
You want to
the
help
way it
explain what
works
that
is
is?
that no, yeah, I can explain it. Or at least is what I kind of understood just from because I did watch a video about it, like because I was really interested because I've been waiting for this headset.
Yeah, you're like me in that case.
The way foveated streaming works is that with which is actually like I'm actually really surprised because it uses the cameras, because there's like little cameras that are inside the sockets of where your lenses are.
Mm-hmm.
Those
yeah, it
are the
has eye
cameras that are
tracking
used for
too.
eye tracking. For eye
Yeah.
tracking.
I
That
forgot
are used for eye
that.
tracking. Okay. No,
Yeah, eye
well,
tracking is
Zycu
huge.
did say it on the Zycu did say it on the features, on the
Yeah.
specs. Well, it uses, which is like I think it's the first headset to do that. the
Mhm.
way that it works is that it uses the eye tracking cameras to detect what you're looking at, and basically not render the things that you're not looking at to save resources and for the machine to run better.
Bro, that is high tech.
Yeah.
There's no
So-
way that works in real though. That seems
No,
like
there's been
No, it
actually
works.
really
It works. Apparently, it works because like I said, I was watching some documentation and videos about, because like it was also like because it was Linus specifically. I watched Linus' video on the
Oh
on
yeah, yeah.
the
I saw his
on the
video on
Steam
that as
frame,
well.
and he was also of the belief that would be like impossible. That would be like like really hard to believe. But according to him, it actually blew his socks off. Like it was like impressive how well it was at doing that and actually saving resources through using the eye tracking camera, which, like I said, I don't think any other headset has done so far.
Yeah. One of the
I
other
didn't even
really
think
cool
about that.
Yeah, one of the other really cool things about it is they have foveated rendering, which the only other headset to do that on the mass market was the PlayStation VR 2. But what Steam also has, and the problem with foveated rendering is the game developers have to include it in the game for it to be used. However,
Hold on, can I interject
Yeah,
here?
yeah.
I'm gonna be honest. I do not know what foveated rendering is. Is that what movie just said?
that's what movie was
It
just
is
talking about.
basically-
That's
it is
where you
basically-
look
Okay,
at something
that's
and it
so-
makes that higher quality and lowers the quality of things out of your
So the
peripheral.
PS2 VR did that then?
The PS VR 2 did that as well, yeah. But that wasn't a very popular machine because they never marketed it well. They didn't make a lot of good
Oh
great
yeah,
games for
it
it.
didn't have
So
controllers either, did it? Like it didn't have like
I don't
virtually
remember.
out of
I-
controllers.
I think no, the PSVR 2 did. The first one was the one that didn't have controllers because the way it was
Oh,
intended,
that makes
it was
sense,
for
yeah.
you- Yeah, because the way it was intended, it wasn't for like an actual VR machine, at least the first one. It was just for the display, basically. It's just you
Yeah.
just put it on, you grab your PS4 controller, and then you just play you just play a game just like you would do it normally, not exactly like
Yeah.
like some games had the different experiences, but it wasn't like an actual VR gaming headset.
That makes a lot of
That's
sense.
what I remember most, I think. That's why I would believe that.
Yeah, but the other really cool feature that the Steam one has is foveated streaming. And this is where it gets really big because they talked about this streaming stick, right? This Wi-Fi 6 stick that you can plug into your machine and then it'll stream the video from your computer to your headset on the highest band possible. So it's really smooth. And they said they had, I think it was 3 milliseconds of added response time from the computer to the
Oh,
headset. Like
dang.
very, very minimal. You'll never really notice it. So that's really
Yeah,
impressive.
it uses 6 gigahertz for like
Yeah.
the VR streaming.
Which is
And
incredible.
It is incredible. That is also something that a lot of like of the other headsets were struggling with, like Wi-Fi streaming, like like actual, like no cable, no nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And I think even the Quest 3 still struggles with that. So even Steam is like I think, like I said, really ahead with just because this one is just a dongle. You just plug it in. Like it's not like it doesn't need like apparently it doesn't need any like complicated configurations. Like apparently it just works.
Oh, thank goodness it's idiot proof.
Yeah,
Perfect.
idiot proof. That's how you know. And then
And like, oh sorry, go ahead.
no. I was just gonna say that the thing that really pushes the streaming beyond is they do foveated streaming, which goes across at 6 gigahertz and then looks at where your eye is looking at and renders the stream that you're getting at a higher resolution where your eyes are looking and the rest lower resolution. So developers don't have to add that into the game directly. It's done in the streaming software side.
Yeah, it's
So
yeah,
compared
exactly.
to like PlayStation 2 VR's thingy where the people
the
people had to do
developer
it,
has to do it.
So
Yeah,
they don't
it's-
have to here. Wow.
It's basically a step above, yeah. That's why I will, like I said, I watched Linus's video and he was also skeptical, but he was like pleasantly surprised of how like well it worked.
Yeah, and they from the few people I've seen, they've all tested how
Yeah.
crazy they can move their eyes around. Like they zip their eyes around, they never noticed, which is
Yeah,
absolutely
Wow.
insane.
To caveat on the eye tracking thing. So, to the people who have never used eye tracking before,
Like me.
I haven't either, but I have a lot of friends who use it pretty regularly. And
Yeah,
one of the things that I don't think a lot of people expect or really have talked about, or maybe even have heard, is that it kind of changes your interaction on games like VRChat. So, the problem I don't even say it's a problem. It's just something you have to be cognizant of. A lot of people, when they're playing VR chat, they'll have their personal mirror open, sometimes a little bit out of the way, and you'll have your head pointed at the person you're talking to, but
Mhm.
then you'll have your mirror off to the side and
I
looking
know
at
what you're
yourself, make
talking
sure
about
your
already.
gestures are right,
I know.
making sure that your avatar's not freaking out, and who knows, maybe a little bit of self appreciation going on, but um, they're going to be able to see that
Yeah.
you're not making eye contact. You're going to be diverting your
That's
gaze like
very
constantly, and
true,
it's going to be
bro.
very odd. So just be prepared if you're getting a headset like this. Is you're gonna need to make eye contact, and that's just assuming that the avatar you're using is also rigged for eye tracking. Don't expect to hop into VR chat with
And
this
it just
headset and then
works,
your
yeah.
avatar just to work with it. You're going to need to set up eye
Yeah.
tracking. It doesn't come. Your avatar doesn't come that way unless it was created that way.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
Avatars
is
technically look so good though.
that is absolutely correct. Even on the more popular side, which are the boot avatars, they do require they do get releases for eye tracking because they don't come with it. They don't come with them naturally.
Yeah. I'll have to get that whenever I get this headset so I can really let Flat know that I'm staring his ass down
Hey,
for being
brother,
stupid.
my eyes are up here, bro.
Oh, I'm not looking
What
there.
the?
But yeah,
The eye rolls are going to be real.
Oh, the eye rolls. Oh, I didn't even think about eye rolling.
Oh yeah, that's so good. Dang, maybe I'll need to get this shit just so I can
Yeah.
freaking
Roll your eyes
Yeah,
around.
stare directly at how short you are.
Excuse me?
according to some of the other, like I said, the video that I was watching, the headset, because that is also something that inside camera tracking that struggles with is like when you're in dark environments.
Oh,
Apparently,
yeah.
I thought it has like
the
infrared
even
stuff.
no, they still struggle. Like it is, I believe it is like that, and it also apparently is really good on low lighting environment slash dark
Oh.
environment.
Well, I don't think too many people are going to be using it like with the lights out unless you're
I
planning on
don't know.
sleeping
I
on
might.
VRChat, which
I use
I,
mine with
I've
lights out
already,
all the time. My current headset.
I, yeah,
It
I
gives
do
you
use
I
the.
like
don't
self as
keep
well.
mine with my I keep
It,
my lights on though.
yeah, I mean, it does improve your tracking if you have lights on, which I've been doing more recently because of my tracking getting lost from these base station 1.0s. But back in the day, I would have my lights off because it's just like there's less of a chance of light leak happening under your headset because you don't have light to leak in.
Oh yeah, because you really
you're not
like
using it.
the immersive experience.
Yeah, and you're getting that immersion out of it. Although I've heard that the gasket for the Steam one is actually really nice and doesn't have a lot of light leaks, so that's really good to hear too. Yeah, no, I am so ready for an upgrade, and it took them 7 years, but they finally did it. They finally did it.
We
I
got
do.
Steam Frame before GTA 6.
Yeah, Steam Frame before GTA 6.
Well, I do have high hopes for the headset. Like I said, I do think the specs are really good, and I do also appreciate their philosophy of like actually like giving it more like other like uses as opposed to just being just a
Oh
VR
yeah,
headset that you use for just VR. They are actually giving in some other uses along with their ecosystem.
no, I
That's the
100%
thing
agree
about
with you on
Steam,
that.
man. They love being versatile.
Yeah, and
Uh,
I love the
yeah,
fact that Steam goes, hey, our user base is gamers, so what should we do?
So
Let's make things
they market
for
to
gamers.
It's so
And
good.
it's so good because Meta's like, hey,
Oh,
let's
I
make
love
headsets for
Valve.
everything, and then Steam's like, actually, why don't we just make it for the people who's gonna use it the most?
yeah,
It's
it
so
is.
real.
Well, like I said, Steam is like a company. At least I can get behind. Like even I believe. I mean, it's kind of off topic, but it's something that I read that they haven't released a different Steam Deck, like the Steam Deck 2 or whatever,
Oh yeah,
because they believe that the only reason they would release a Steam Deck 2 if they can at least make it 50% better, like at the very least. If they cannot make it 50%
Yeah,
better, they're not going to
that
make
is
another
the
one.
thing about Steam.
yeah.
They will not release something unless it will definitively get
It-
better, excluding Left 4 Dead 2.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is with Steam is they do 2 and they don't do 3. So fingers
They
crossed.
do too, but they don't do 3.
Fingers crossed. Now that we've got the Steam Frame, since they've changed the branding, we can at least get a Steam Frame 2 and not have just these 2 headsets and that be it. But
uh,
Now, what do you mean? This
another
is the second headset, bro. This is called the Index 2. There will never be another headset.
oh no,
Now, I haven't heard any
I mean, like,
speculation on it, but
Uh-huh.
I'm kind of like I have my fingers crossed for this Steam frame to also release with the continuation of Half-Life Alyx.
Oh, yeah.
Speaking of which, movie, did you say there was like rumors of like a big announcement coming up for Valve?
I think so. At least I talked with another friend of mine this morning, and I think they're coming with another announcement, which, well, like I said, we speculate that it's probably another. We don't know if it's Half-Life or not. It might
Mhm.
just be another big VR release from them, since the last one that they did was Half-Life Alyx, and that was like a. It is still, at least in
Yeah.
my opinion, at least in terms of like just interaction with the VR environment, the best game, at least Half-Life
Yeah.
Alyx, because you can basically interact with almost anything.
It's that CS2 engine.
Yeah. So like, I do believe that it might be just another VR title from Valve.
I would be so down if they did a Portal VR.
Ooh, that'd be a great
Please.
idea. That would make like a lot of people very sick, though. Zyku, I know you were
Potentially.
one of those people that would definitely get sick.
I would get sick, but I would power through that one. Oh my god.
Did you
Such
play
a
all
good
the other
game.
portals, Zyku? Did you play
There'd
all
be
the other
vomit all over the walls flat. But I'd fucking
He would turn that
Maybe
vomit
make it
into a
more
portable
there,
surface.
it'd be even better.
Watch it been CS VR, Counter-Strike
Oh,
VR.
no.
They already got that, bro. It's Pavlov, and unfortunately, they made a couple poor decisions over these past couple years.
They
Dang.
did a couple of, yeah. Another thing that I honestly also like is like, at least as far as the controllers go,
Mhm.
is the new joystick that they're using, because
Oh,
God
God.
forbid, I think the worst part about the Index controller is the joystick. Is that the first thing that breaks? It breaks extremely
Mhm.
fast. And for the new controller, they're using the joystick that they use for the Steam controller, which is hopefully, I mean, it has to be
It's Hall
way
Effect.
sturdier than the. It has to be way sturdier than the one from the original Index, because
it's also industry standard, which is amazing because it's perfected.
Yeah,
What does
no.
industry standard mean? Does that mean it's the best?
It just means it's
it,
perfected.
mean,
It's industry standard.
it,
Perfect.
it means that, yeah, it just means that it's like it has gone from like so many, for like multiple testings from all joysticks, so it is built to like basically with the better spec, basically.
Ethically.
Yeah, no, I'm very
Which,
excited by that because I can't tell you how bad I hate the sticks on the Index. That shit, the first controller I had, the sensor to track my finger on the thumb snapped under the stick. I don't know how.
I
don't know how,
Bro, you got some big meaty
But for
hands.
some no, just for some reason I was moving around the stick and all of a sudden it wouldn't track my thumb anymore because the sensor just failed under the stick.
It said, "Alright, I'm about to head out."
And then my second
yeah,
stick,
the control.
it just totally broke, and I have to play with the nub that's
Oh, I
underneath
remember.
the stick
Yeah,
down.
it broke when we were playing like
Yeah,
VRChat
I was literally
at an
playing
event,
with you
right?
guys at an event, and then all of a sudden my whole stick just completely shattered.
And somehow you put it back together. I don't know how.
I put it back
It's always
together, and
heartbreaking to hear
it
it
did
too.
not last for very long. Yeah,
That there was a phase in VRChat where you just be around people and you'd hear their controller break and you're just like, oh my god. And your heart would sink because you're just happy it's not you, but at the same time, you know how bad it feels.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know that feel.
Yeah,
Not for the freaking Index though.
Yeah.
Yeah, another thing that, yeah, I mean, I also thought that it was a little strange that they didn't announce is the battery life for the headset.
Oh
But,
yeah,
Yeah, you got some details on that?
It's gonna be
yeah,
3
no,
hours.
I actually do not have details on that. Because I don't know what's the standard. Because the thing is that they haven't really, because at least for the MetaQuest 3,
It's
I
like
think the standalone
like 2 to
headset
3 hours.
is 2 to 3 hours, where you can get the strap that has the extra battery. So, but
true.
as far as I know, Steam hasn't like announced any
Yeah,
strap or like any kind of strap. The only strap that I know Steam like is like that is like different from the original. It's just another strap that has like because if you see like the model of the headset, it does not have a top strap like most headsets do.
Yeah.
Like the one that like holds your head from the top. It
So
has
are you
one.
saying the top strap's gonna have the battery? They're gonna
No.
release it
I
with
don't think they would do
no,
that.
No. But no. What I'm saying is that the other strap that is not the original is just the one that has the one on the top as well. They have not
No.
announced any strap that has like extra battery. The only thing that is like that kind of like makes it, because I know people are, I mean, even if they don't release a strap that has battery, people are still gonna Frankenstein any way to put a external battery there, especially because
Oh, for sure.
it's just a USB-C.
Yeah.
Especially because it is positioned specifically. I mean, if you see the diagram of the headset, it is specifically put on the bottom part of the left side of the headset, so you can easily plug in a power bank and just put it in your pocket or something. And it
That's
will work
very
just fine,
true. Yeah,
right?
I was
Just like
thinking
the
about
Steam
that.
Yeah.
controller that they have, right?
Yeah, I mean, the cool thing with like the headset is like Movie was saying, you can have a big power bank in your back pocket. If you have a back pocket, you might be playing naked, I don't know. But if you have a
you
back
can you can
pocket,
even you could even duct tape it at the back of the headset. I
yeah,
mean,
you could
the
do that
sky's the
too.
limit, really.
But you just
Sky's the limit,
plug the
really.
cable from the power bank to the headset and then just run it off that. Like I bought a power bank specifically for my Switch because the Switch had a lot more power demand.
Why?
Because the power demand of the Switch was much higher than other things. So
But I'm saying,
I was
where
traveling
are
a lot
you? Are
back
you going
then.
out?
I was in the
Okay,
military.
traveling. Okay, that makes more sense. Yeah, that
Yeah.
makes sense.
I
Oh yeah,
anticipate
okay, total
I
sense.
I anticipate some sort of attachment somebody would make for
3D
the Steam
printed, most
frame. I've
likely,
seen
yeah.
it for the Quest.
You
Uh-huh.
best believe people will probably make attachments for it, yeah,
Oh, the
because they
fact-
do for the index. They do
Yeah.
for the index. So
It'll look bulky, but at least it won't be duct taped.
True.
You know what I think, Zycu, actually? I actually think the worst part about this thing is going to be its battery life. And that's why they did not say what it is, but they said what the
Mhm.
controller's battery life is going to be. I think that's going to be the worst part, and that's why they are not saying anything about it.
I mean,
They didn't put it in the specs.
even if it's 2 hours,
I
that's still not bad.
yeah, and like I
Yeah.
said, there is at least they put the USB-C in a position where it's very easy to just like plug in a
Yeah.
battery bank, a battery bank. Also the controllers, yeah, the controllers this time they use batteries, like AA batteries.
Yeah, that
Like,
was
they don't
interesting
use
to me.
they
I'm
are-
surprised that it's
That
not
was
plug in like the other
Good.
ones.
it is not
Let's go
rechargeable.
back to
Honestly, I don't
AA's.
even
They've
mind
lost
that just
longer.
because it is 40 hours of battery life, like roughly like
Yeah,
on
true.
average for like AA battery, which like I said, I do kind of prefer it, like at this point, just because I feel like it's just too many cables. Like I'd rather just pop a
Yeah.
battery and just forget about it for the next like 40 hours, which is gonna last a long time, depending on how much you play on VR, give or take.
Yeah, I
But
mean, I've already
it might
got
just last.
not wireless. I've already got rechargeable AA's that I used to
Mhm.
use for my Xbox controller before I got my brand new one. My Game Sir, love this thing. It's a tank, and it comes with its own like charging dock that it comes like you can just unplug and then directly connects to the PC. Unrelated entirely, but I still
Yeah.
have those batteries that I'm just kind of like sitting against the wall charging now, not really being used
So-
for much. So gonna be using that for the Steam frame.
My mother plays VR. She has a Quest 3, and what she has is a lithium rechargeable battery station.
Yeah.
And so she can fit 4 AA's in there. And what she does is she cycles them. So she has 8 rechargeable batteries, and the Quest controllers take 2 per controller. And whenever her controllers are running low, she just swaps them out. And so she's good to go all the time on battery life for her controllers.
Yeah, and you know what? Another thing, it's great they're using AA's because battery life on controllers after like extended periods of use, like over a couple
True,
years,
they
or like
do die after
it
time.
will just yes, they will
That
start
is-
to just be weaker and stuff.
I actually did not think about that. It's a very good point, actually. The fact that it basically just deletes battery like depletion.
Yeah,
Like,
this would be
Yeah.
yes,
longevity.
just
Just
overall
the
the
life.
battery life. You don't need to worry about battery life. That is a very good point.
Because since they
I
have
just
the
wish
battery,
those controllers worked
Oh, you wish they worked?
with the base stations.
Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah,
I'd like to
What's that
replace
you
my
say?
index controllers with them if I don't want to get
the Steam frame
The Steam frame.
specifically. Yeah, that makes sense.
Mhm.
Yeah, the thing with base stations, at least for now, is the thing, and it's what a lot of people believe as well, is that with the release of the Steam frame being inside camera tracking,
Mm-hmm.
people believe that it is like a turning point for VR just in general, away from base stations.
Oh, I
Like,
wouldn't doubt it.
I'd hope so,
people
man. That shit's
like
expensive.
like people believe that everything from like here on now, at least like most things, like at least on the mainstream, is gonna
Mhm.
be without base stations because
Yeah, but I don't know if I believe that though, because if I put my hands behind my back, the headset, no matter where it is, it's not gonna see them.
Well, the positioning
So
for
I
the
doubt
Steam cameras
it.
are actually really good for that. Plus, you've got
Is it gonna see through my body though? Is it
not
gonna see
gyros.
through my
You
body?
got gyros in the controller too, so I'm sure if it didn't quite fully capture, the gyro in the controller would help update it.
Hope
Yeah,
so.
yeah. With that, I don't mean like everything is gonna be without base stations, but it is moving towards that way. Like,
No, yeah, the
actually
more
just like
convenient version of VR.
yeah, just a standalone just like a standalone kind of thing where you don't have to like rely on base stations. But like I said, it is for the best because that way you can bring it to more places without having to bring like
Also,
bulky base stations. That
partially related to this, I am so glad that it doesn't use a tether to my computer and just has a wireless to my computer, because I cannot tell you how many times
Little bro has tripped over his cords
No,
way too.
I can't tell you how many times I'm in VR and then pull my head out of my VR and look down and my cat is trying to attack the cable. And it's
Oh
just like,
man,
bro,
no!
leave it
Thankfully, my
alone.
cat does not do that. Zycu, do you have
my
a
cat
pet
likes
that
to do
attacks
that.
your thingy?
What was that?
Do you have a pet that attacks your cord, bro?
No, I don't have a pet, sadly.
Oh,
Man,
I want a
yeah.
cat
If
or
you have a
dog.
cat, they will attack the cord.
yeah, and it's
Yeah,
rough.
especially if it's moving around. Especially if it's
Yeah,
moving around,
yeah.
they just actually have to bounce at it.
I'd worry about sitting on it or kicking it or
Ooh,
something
yeah.
silly.
Yeah. That's a very valid reason. Like the first time I got VR for a little bit, my cat had to learn like to kind of stay
Not
away
do it,
from me.
yeah. No, I
It's not
get
the reason
that
I don't
entirely.
have one, but it's definitely the concerns I would have about
Yeah,
being in the same room with me when I'm in VR.
for sure.
Yeah, moving a little further along though, the other feature of that Steam headset that movie was kind of getting at, which is really cool, is the ability to play all your Steam games in VR as
Yes,
if it was like you're in a movie theater.
Uh-huh.
Because
correct. Yeah,
I can tell you, and I'm sure the rest of you will also agree, the movie theater worlds that we go to, absolutely mind-boggling that you can sit in your home and have a screen bigger than your screen in your home and watch movies. It is such a cool experience. And to have that
it is.
capability to you might not even need a computer with a monitor anymore at this point if you're going to be using that headset. Of course, battery life, but just having that headset
Contro
on, you could just have a giant monitor in your room, quote unquote, and play your games.
Yeah,
place his
that's
hand on your shoulder. I disagree wholeheartedly with your entire take there.
Okay.
And I will say it why it is cool for all of 10 minutes, and then you realize you got hot stuff on your head, and you are
That's
you
true.
also realize that it's just so much more easier to just stare at your monitor.
No, you're absolutely right in that aspect. I think a big factor in this is going to be the weight. Because you and I know our headsets that we have are currently pretty hefty. I rarely
Yeah,
feel
I'm
it
not
for the time I'm
more
playing,
than I need to.
but
and yeah, that's
yeah,
sorry. Go ahead.
no, you're fine. The index being twice the weight of the frame, and I also looked at it. The MetaQuest 3, for the people who are MetaQuest users, the weight of
How much was
that
the Vive
is
Pro 2 weights?
580 grams,
Oh, 2 weights.
and then versus 440 of the new one. So it's lighter than that. It's not anywhere near as light as the Beyond, because the Beyond's like 100.
Oh,
But
wait, my headset's lighter than yours. Mine's 850
yeah, but
grams.
imagine cutting that in almost half. And that's what you're
Yeah,
putting
but
on with the Steam frame.
still, it's gonna be hot. It has to be hot. The headset's gonna be hot for
know.
sure.
I don't know. We'll have to see.
Depends on your environment. For
True.
example, I have buddies up in Canada who don't have like real good AC because it's usually cold up there. So when
Yeah.
it gets hot up there, they're just absolutely miserable. They don't want anything to do with the headset. Not
That's how
because
we'll
the
feel as
headset
well.
not because the headset would make them hot, but because it's already hot and they're already uncomfortable, and just having something on your face just contributes to that uncomfortability.
Yes, Zycu
Yeah.
understands me. We are in the same mind palace together on this.
But
We
solely
are not
depends
using it
on
that
your
way.
Depends on your
air
environment.
conditioning situation.
But I do think there
Yeah.
is potential with that kind of technology. Plus, if you could play your games anywhere, you know, it's like I'm away from my computer, but I'll just pop my headset on and play my Steam games right now, in the middle of a train, or on the airplane.
Heck, I
If
did it
I
on
catch
deployment
you-
with the Vive. I was playing Ark Survival Evolve in my Vive with a controller.
Yeah.
in a top bunk.
There
Yeah.
ain't no way, brother. If I catch you on the bus, putting your freaking big headset on and logging on to VRChat,
Oh, I'm not even talking
freaking
VR
gonna
chat.
shove you in the nearest locker.
Bro, I could take my headset with me because it runs SteamOS, right? Because it also acts as a PC. I'll just take my headset with
That's
me.
true.
Go
That's
get onto
true. You
an
can watch
airplane.
anime.
You can watch anime, yeah. But I can get in there
Okay,
The
okay.
and
gyros
start
like
playing
that?
Silk Song.
And
I feel like the gyros
And-
would really hate that.
The gyros? Oh, the gyroscopics?
Because being so high up.
Yeah, I feel like it's gonna not behave correctly in a
funky.
moving situation.
I don't know.
Oh yeah.
I don't know how it exactly would work.
I don't know.
We'd
I
have to
think Zycu.
test
I
it,
think
but-
Zycu's right there. I don't think it will.
Only reason I say that is because I have a friend who often works on he works on a big boat that has a big radar that scans the ocean floor. And whenever he's in his quest and he's on the boat, they have like a Starlink, and so he's able to get online and play games and use his quest.
Yeah.
His headset like behaves very oddly. So sometimes it'll move with him, and it becomes just unusable for him.
Gotcha. I had not thought about that. It would have to be something that need to be tested, I guess. Cool idea if it works, though.
Yeah, it would
Yeah.
be.
So, anyways, that's all on that Steam frame. Now about that Steam machine.
Yeah, the Steam machine. Now that's another beast.
Super missed opportunity to call it the Steam Cube. I am so disappointed.
No. Have
You're
you
so
seen the
right.
memes online? They call it the Gabe
No.
Cube. It's
The Gabe Cube?
The Gabe Cube, yeah. Instead of the
Yeah.
Game
Yeah,
Cube.
but the Steam Cube, if they would have shipped
The
it with the name
GameCube.
Steam Cube, you know how
It would be
awesome that would have
so
been?
good, but you know people are gonna be like, "Oh, they just copied off of GameCube." Like, you know.
Yeah,
and
but
they've
because
already
GameCube is
called their stuff
iconic.
Steam machines, but no, I agree with you. The Cube would have been a fun way to name it, and that's why the community calls it the Gabe Cube now.
So what all
It
does
almost
it
sounds like
do?
you're saying
What all
gay
can it
cube.
do? So is it just like a console, like an Xbox?
It is similar to a console. It's actually about half the size of the Xbox Series S or X, I think, the big tall tower black one.
Oh, the one that looks
The
like a
X is
missile
the black
launch,
one.
like a rocket launcher, like a law.
Yeah, like a
thingy,
big
like
old
the
tall
box-
like a
The
refrigerator.
box rocket.
The refrigerator looking
The
one.
refrigerator. Yeah, the refrigerator. That's even better.
It's half the size of that. So it's really small, but it runs SteamOS on like the Arch Linux with really good specs. Like I think it was still 16 gigabit RAM. I have to look at the specs again. I haven't touched it in a while. But the really neat part about all of this is the fact that you can play your games practically anywhere with a very lightweight machine. Now, I personally am not going to get it just because I already have
neither.
a powerful PC and I don't need to go that extra mile. But if they make this comparable price wise to consoles, even if that's like $600-700, we'll have to see.
People will get into more PC gaming.
People
with
would get
it.
into
like,
PC
they'll
gaming
start
with it.
really get into PC gaming.
This is the Xboxers way out. Jump
This-
ship,
yeah.
Xboxers.
Get out
Jump
of
ship
there.
while you still can. It's a sinking
It
ship.
is 2.6 kilograms. That is very light.
Oh
for
my god,
a
yeah.
console.
That is really lightweight. And I
How much is
saw
2.6 kilograms again? Is that like a
It's
baseball
like
bat?
it is like 5 to 6 pounds. It is like 5 to 6 pounds.
Yeah.
That doesn't help me, brother.
Imagine
I need to- how many bananas is that?
No. Listen, imagine this. You've got a mom and your mom goes to the gym and picks up the tiny weights and lifts those tiny weights. That is the weight of the Steam frame or the Steam machine.
Yeah, that is the way of the same
Dang,
frame.
that is
very
pretty light.
Yeah.
Thank you
It is
for
very light.
like bringing this back to like
American numbers,
something
yeah.
relatable. I have a mom. She
have a
goes to the
mom.
Yeah,
gym.
for comparison, the Series X is 4.5 kilograms, which is
So about
like,
double.
Dang, bro. Go to the gym, lose some weight, bro.
Yeah. No, and what I've seen is like 75% of what's underneath the Steam machine is literally just coolers. And the rest of it is the
It's heat
computer.
sinks, right?
Heat sinks, yeah.
they're all like
heat sinks. So it's mostly heat sink, and then the rest is the machine, and that's really good to see because that means they're pushing the limits of what that hardware can really do, and they're really getting the heat out of it. And you're not going to have this massive heat sink of a box just sitting down somewhere in such a small frame.
Mm-hmm.
And
Very
SteamOS.
exciting. Oh yeah, and SteamOS. Man, I really wish Gaben just sell me SteamOS. I'll put it on my computer right now.
Now, the reason that he hasn't done that, and I was going to talk about this because you mentioned it when we first were about to start. The reason that we don't have SteamOS just out and about for everybody is because it's built on the AMD architecture. It does not work on Intel or on NVIDIA. It has to be AMD.
It's not NVIDIA?
Not compatible with NVIDIA. It has to be AMD-based stuff.
Oh.
So as a result, it's not quite ready for mass adoption on the PC market. Otherwise, I would have already done it. I would have dual booted SteamOS and Windows.
Yeah, because you can run Windows application, the executables on this Linux. It uses Arch Linux, which is a really difficult distribution to install. And just for clarification, for those of you who don't know, distribution is basically another way of saying like an OS installation, like Windows or Mac. A Linux distribution is a specific flavor, for lack of better words, of a Linux version. So you have Arch and Ubuntu, and you can go on. There's a very long list of different distributions.
iCandy.
Essentially, Arch Linux is one of the well-known distributions that are just difficult to manage and install, but they built SteamOS on top of it because it's so powerful. Now, the way that you can run executables on it is through software called Wine or Proton. And Proton, what it does is it translates everything that an executable needs to function perfectly in the Windows OS language, so that way it could actually function. However, it has flaws and it's not perfect, and there are some compatibility issues that you will see. So you can expect some software to misbehave or just not do what you would expect it to do.
I will say as well, they're actually not using Proton or Wine for their emulation of this stuff. And they're using something called FEX, F-E-X. I haven't done too dig of a deep into FEX specifically, but I know that Valve, there was a random guy who was making stuff for PCs and made FEX, and it was like working on it, trying to get it to be really compatible to get Windows stuff in Linux. And then Steam saw that, Valve saw that, and they're like, you know what? We're pumping money into you. We're going to make this happen.
The issue with FEX, and this is only what I've read on, I don't know how true it is or accurate it is, but the issue with FEX is that it's specific for applications that are made to work with it. Whereas Wine and Proton are for applications that are up in the air, that weren't really thought about or considered when
and you'd have to do kind of a blend of both.
Architecture is set up. So FEX is like, it'll work. Wine and Proton, it's like, you can see if it works.
Yeah. Good stuff, though. I'm really excited to see that. That would probably be the only reason I would consider buying one, would be to just totally disconnect myself from Windows.
Me too.
To be like, all right, this is my
right there with you.
Because I'm done with the nonsense they're starting to do.
I am so right there. I was done like 10 years ago when they made an update that just broke my stuff.
Yeah. I mean, stuff will break regardless, but it's really frustrating.
Yeah, but it's all their fault, I swear.
Yeah, no, I'm so excited for that. And then we've got the Steam controller, which, again, not another piece of hardware that I specifically am looking for, because I've got.
It's good they have.
I'm so happy it exists, because it's a good blend for people to get into PC gaming without having to worry about getting into keyboard and mouse gaming, you know? Because they get the controller buttons to really give them that tactile feel that they like and they know, but it also comes with the trackpads built onto the controller, which will allow them to do mouse-like activities in games.
So I actually had the original Steam controller.
Oh yeah, I forgot about
And
that.
yeah, you held it. I showed it to you when you came over one day.
I wasn't a fan.
But no, you were not. So
What Steam controller
essentially,
y'all
the
talking
original
about?
Steam controller only had touchpads for the sticks, much like the old Vive ones. It
Yeah,
just
imagine the
had
Vive
the
1
touchpads.
pads and that be your control sticks on the controller. That's what it was.
Your control
Ooh.
sticks and your buttons that you would press on the right side. It was ahead of its time, to say the least, and it wasn't
Yeah.
complete. It wasn't a completely thought out design, but it was really cool, but also really niche, and it just didn't feel right because it it wasn't hitting home. Like we're so
Yeah.
used to controllers, but the one thing they stood really high on, the hill they wanted to die on with the Steam controller and those touchpads, and the reason for getting rid of the sticks is when you use a touch, what is it, touchpad instead
A
of
haptic pad,
joysticks,
yeah.
you're super extra accurate. The problem with joysticks is that you have to move the stick, you have to let go of the stick, it goes back to the center. Um, and it's not going exactly the way that you may want it to go. I think the same argument could be made about touching. You may not be touching the way you want to go, but their argument was it was way more accurate, it was more responsive, and that it was uh, innovative in terms of player input for a video game.
It
But
worked really
nobody
well
bought
for
it.
emulating mouse as well on things like RTS games. Because RTS games are best played with a keyboard and mouse.
Yeah.
Using the
I don't know. In
This
trackpad
my
to
opinion,
go in between.
everything is best with a keyboard and mouse except for like fighting games.
I don't know. Dark Souls is better with controller, in my personal opinion.
Well, you're
But
wrong.
this
How dare!
new Steam controller is basically an Xbox controller with touchpads attached to the bottom. I think it's a really cool design. I might pick it up. I might find some use for it.
Yeah.
But I think it's going to have the same fate as the original Steam controller because unless Xbox syncs like seems like it's doing, I think the Steam controller has a 50-50 chance of surviving this second iteration because of how bad Microsoft's been doing.
Yeah.
If it can replace my Xbox controller, then I'm probably gonna pick up the Steam controller because I don't like using my Xbox controller for like
I will sit here and
games that I play.
I will sit here and absolutely glaze the company that made my controller because I did a lot of research when I was looking for a new controller to get because my Xbox controller's right bumper was starting to
And
fail.
what company is it?
It's
Just tell me.
GameSir, GAMESIR, and it's the G7 Pro, the one that I'm currently using. It comes with 4 extra buttons. You get 2
How
extra.
expensive?
It was like $80.
Oh, that's not super bad.
No, and if you spend $100, you can get the Zenless Zone Zero version of it, which is kind of cool looking.
hey, movie, holy movie, wake up, bro! Stainless Zone Zero controller just dropped.
Oh, wait a minute. What?
Yeah, it's a
I did
Zenless
not
Zone
know that.
Zero themed controller for the controller that I have. It looks really pretty. I'm not a fan of the Zenless Zone Zero series or anything. I like the art,
I'm
but
trying to find it. I can't find it. Where is this?
I'll pull it up and
shiz?
post it in the chat. But I absolutely love it. It's got 4 buttons that are extra. So you get 2 extra shoulder buttons. They're little tiny ones that are a little further in, so it's not going to be pressed by accident. And they've got 2 back pedal buttons that you can press. The triggers are haptic, like the GameCube controllers. I don't know if you remember that, where you can like partially press it and then you can fully press it. Yeah, it's got that in the triggers.
A half press. You got the half a press.
You've got the half presses for the triggers. So if you've got games that are like racing games, you can push partially on the trigger and it would give you just a little bit of the gas where you can fully pull it down to give the full,
Holy, I found it.
Yeah, no, it looks
Let me
so
show you what
good.
this shiz looks like.
Yeah, I am a big
controller.
I am a
I'm
big
dropping
fan
it
of
in
Zenless
chat.
Zero.
And then
I'm a big fan of
the back
Zero.
grip buttons actually have a toggle that you can turn on the back that's just a little switch to completely stop them from activating. So if you don't want to use them, you can just turn it off and it just makes them into a back.
Maybe I should get this.
It's good. I love it. And what really makes it stand apart is the charging dock is also the wireless dock to communicate with the controller. So it just syncs instantly. You take the controller off the charging dock, and it goes, boom, I'm attached to your Windows now. I'm playing on your computer. And then you put
I
it back.
think the
You put it back on the charging dock, and it turns the controller off and starts charging it.
so I believe the new Steam controller does that as well.
Yeah,
So they
it
might
has
have
that
took a page
little-
from their playbook.
Hold on, Zycu. Do you know if the Steam controller can be used to play games that are not on Steam?
Yes.
Yes,
Okay,
Yes,
great.
because
it'll
I could
act
buy
like
the
an
Yeah,
Xbox
controller and be
controller.
happy.
Yeah.
So one thing about the Steam controller is that it also has a gyro packed into it. So you can play those Nintendo Switch games that you're emulating 100% legally.
Yeah,
And
because-
you can, and for me, when I was emulating Zelda Breath of the Wild way back, I
Legally.
would run into the issue where you need to
Hey, don't let
use a
Nintendo hear
gyro
you.
control. Yeah, you wouldn't have the gyro in an Xbox controller, so the
That's
Steam
true.
controller will
This
have a gyro
G7
built into it, and you'll be able
does
to do those things.
have it, which is really cool
that is
too.
amazing.
And
Well, I think they're both good controllers.
yeah, they're
sounded
both really
then.
good for different purposes. And the Game 7G or the G7 Pro from GameSir also has replaceable front plates if you want to change what it looks like, and it's got replaceable D-pads. So they give you 3 D-pads with the controller. You get a standard D-pad, which is just a cross. You get a D-pad that's a full circle for people who like that. I'm not a huge fan. And then you get a blend where it's the full circle, but it has raised sections for the 4 directions. And that's the one that I currently am using.
That's like
really
like
nice.
the 360 controller.
Yeah, kind of like the 360 did. So you get multiple options with that as well. So I mean, I'm gonna glaze them up because I love it. I've fallen in love with this controller, and I found that you can program all the buttons to be whatever you want. So you don't even have to have it. You can do turbo buttons. You can set it up so that your A button's actually your start button if you want. I don't know why you would do that, but you can. And you can also program the 4 buttons to be anything. So I went and programmed the 4 bonus buttons to be W, A, S, and D. And then in the games that I play, I'll program extra functions to W, A, S, and D so that when I press those, I can use them. Because I love doing emulations legally of Ocarina of
Yes,
Time.
me too.
Ocarina of Time, and with the PC version of Ocarina of Time that I play legally, I've got access to a second stick that can be used for turning the camera around, which is not a feature that existed back in the original. But because of the limited buttons compared to the N64 controller, which is weird to say, I don't have D-pad and C-stick and right stick and left stick normally on an Xbox controller with the face buttons of A, B, Z, L, R. But now that I've got these extra buttons, I can set those extra buttons to be my D-pad and then have my right stick to actually move the camera, which is a really cool touch. And I use it for Silksong, and it's really good.
That is heckin' cool, Contro.
Yeah. Speaking of
Speaking
Silksong,
of things that we all like.
yeah, speaking of
Then let's
Silksong,
go
that's
over
actually
some.
the game that I want to glaze up today. First off,
Oh, yeah.
thank you, Movie, so much for joining us and
Yes.
giving us your input and knowledge base. It's been a pleasure.
Oh, no worries.
I'm gonna move you down to the audience again.
Bye-bye, movie.
Bye-bye.
All right. Now, getting into our
Speaking of
games and
Silksong.
stuff. Let me start us off because Silksong is a game that I want to talk about today. I love it to death, and I'm still not done with it. I've got about
Dang, bro, it's
37
released
hours
a while
in.
ago.
Yeah, I mean, I played it for a
fun.
bit, and then I took a huge break, and then I got back into it again, and I'm like, all right, I'm hooked again. Let's go. And right now, I'm in the middle of the Bile Water section for people who know Silksong, just so they can get an idea of where I'm at. I've covered a lot of the map, but I'm fighting that Bile Water boss that has the arena with the pits with the slugs, and it sucks. But
Man, I wouldn't know.
yeah,
I
I will
haven't
say
played Silksong.
I love it a lot. If you have not played Hollow Knight, I would recommend playing Hollow Knight first, because when you jump into this game, they expect you to kind of have understanding of the basic mechanics because it just makes it way harder than what the original Hollow Knight was. It's a big challenge. I love challenging games. I love games that push me to my limit to see what I can do. And I've run into some hard stuff. There was a boss that I was fighting. I think it was called the First Sinner. And I fought that boss for 3 hours before I finally beat
Sounds
it.
like a Dark Souls boss.
Right? It was
That's why you like Souls-like games so much. You just like the challenge of them.
I love the challenge. Yeah. That's what really gets me going. And I went hardcore when it came to challenges into the Souls games. Like I did a playthrough with my friend Brett, and we were doing Elden Ring, and we beat the game. And we're like, all right, New Game Plus, nice. Then we beat New Game Plus, and we're like, all right, this is too easy now. So
and then you invited me to that Transcendence
the
mode or
Transcendence
something, or
mod, yeah, that
extension.
was.
I'm not even gonna lie, that was just unfun hard.
Yeah, no, I agree with you on that. But other things that we would do is we would challenge ourselves. We would play the game and say, all right, we're not allowed to use Estus. Estus is no longer allowed. And then we would run through the game without healing once. And then we did one challenge that he gave up on. But I was willing to keep going, where if we died, whatever gear that we had to throw away. Like the gear that we were currently using, like our weapon, we had to throw away.
Should not.
Yeah,
That
it ended up
sounds
being
like a
not very
terrible
fun.
idea.
But that's the kind of stuff that I love to do. Is I love to challenge myself and go crazy with things. I did a 3-heart challenge on Ocarina of Time. Like I love a good battle, and this is exactly what this is. The platforming is tough. That's probably the one thing that I'm like, if you're not good at platforming, I would not recommend Silksong, just because some of those sections are brutal to get through. But otherwise, it is
horrible at
really
platforming.
good and really fun.
I didn't play a lot of platforming games when I was younger, so I just do not do well at those.
That was my genre, was platforming games. I started with Mario 3, and I'm like, all right, this is my good shit.
Yeah. Play like a billion hours in Terraria. Played nothing but the Mario games.
Yeah, let me go. Let's do this.
The 2D platformer has logged on.
2D platformer has logged on. 3D platformer too. I love those as well, but 2D platformers have a different.
That's where I come into now.
All right. Well, that was my recommendation. I'm still not done with it.
Yeah.
And I am highly recommending it to people who like that kind of game. So.
Heck yeah. How about you, Zycu? What about
my
your
game recommendation
favorite game?
is DayZ. It's a little bit basic today, but it's
it's been around for a while.
More well known. It's more of a well known game.
well-known.
If you haven't played it, I recommend it. It's basically a zombie survival game where you spawn in, you have nothing. You gotta go from house to house. You gotta find gear, find loot, different weapons, ammo for the weapons. So there's a chance that you can get sick in the rain if you get wet. You got to be careful with how you handle meat from the wildlife you kill to cook for food and survive. You can build bases, repair cars, drive them around. The community has a very, very strong modding workshop on Steam, and it makes it
being around that long.
worth picking up if you haven't played it. There's a lot to do in that game, especially with mods. For example, for the last 2 weeks, I feel like I've been playing on a DayZ server, sinking unimaginable amount of time into the game. Just riding around a modded map that's probably the size of a big city.
A small country.
Yeah, it was huge. This map is like the size people would pay $60 for. It's like a Skyrim size map.
Dear Lord.
It's the old Morrowind. Oh, the old Morrowind map that was like enormous.
It takes forever to get across. And essentially, the mods would add like different type of enemies, like aliens. Like you would just be riding down this like empty country road in like the farmlands, and then an alien ship would just like, you'd see an alien ship go across your screen and then like crash land in the field, and you're like, oh, loot. And then you go over there, kill all the aliens, take the loot, and drive off.
So
it's so silly.
It's been really fun, and I'm actually working on because all my friends got tired of the server we were playing on because the admins were very poo-poo head. So
I hate that.
I'm actually helping them set up a server of our own. So I'll probably share the
Hell
details
yeah.
with a bunch of friends at some point for that. But yeah, Daisy, if you haven't played it, pick it up. It's a Arma, started off as an Arma 3 mod, and it is now a full-fledged game. Very fun. Check it out.
And I can confirm,
Heck yeah.
Zycu is the kind of person that when he finds a game he likes, you can't get him off the game he likes. There's been so many times I'm like, hey, bro, you should come hang out. And he's like, nah, I'm playing Minecraft. I'm like, you played Minecraft 3 weeks in a row. He's like, yeah, but I'm playing Minecraft. And then it's like,
Everyone
hey, you want
gets
to
in
come
that
hang out? He's
like
like, I'm in Daisy.
3-week Minecraft binge.
Yeah,
Everyone gets in
yeah.
that 3-week Minecraft.
It's a little
binge. What do
longer
you
than 3
mean?
weeks
Right
for
now it's
him, but-
Tarkov.
Tarkov has got him now. Yeah, it's one of
Oh.
those kinds of games that he gets into it, and it's like, all right, you might not see him for a while. What about you, Flat?
All right, well, it's my turn. I love shooter games. I think the last 12 games I've recommended were all shooters. I've got another shooter for you. I love boomer shooter games. They are so fun. I've played so many. I've played so many Doom 2 WUDs, so many Doom 2 like settings, Brutal Doom, all that sort of stuff. This game is called Forgive Me Father 2. One of the genres that I love: horror, Lovecraftian, and just overall dark themes.
Yeah.
This is a Lovecraftian boomer shooter
Oh,
where it is a sequel. I'm sorry, it is a sequel to a game. So the
dang.
very first one, Forgive Me Father 1, it is a very simple story about a preacher who went a little cuckoo crazy and killed everyone. You are that preacher, by the way. In Forgive Me Father 2, you basically are the same preacher. You wake up in like the nut house because you went crazy because
That's
Cthulhu
insane.
made you kill everyone. Yeah, it is literally insane. So you wake up in a nut house and you basically set out on a second adventure to try and go kill Cthulhu, this time for real. But it's extremely fun. It is just boomer shooter glory. Several hours of it too. Extremely hard. I beat it on the I played on the hardest difficulty because I usually do that with any boomer shooter, and it took me
Yeah.
about 9 hours to complete. Very, very fun, very challenging. The weapons are meaty. They sound delicious, especially the shotgun.
Eh,
Very, very fun
Meaty
game.
weapons.
meaty weapons.
Yes, meaty
Meaty.
weapons. Anyways,
I
that's
like my weapons over easy.
What the heck?
That's pretty good. Well, thank you for that recommendation. I also enjoy the style of shooters in those kinds of cases. I'm not a big shooter guy. I don't play Call of Duty. I don't play Battlefield. I don't do things like DayZ much either.
Oh yeah,
but-
I'm sorry. Did I forget to mention? Yeah, in this boomer shooter, everything's a 2D object. So I'm sorry. That's how most boomer shooters those are. So like,
True,
if you haven't
yeah,
played
that
boomer shooters before,
arcade, old school style look.
yeah, they're
Yeah.
all just 2D like thingy pictures
Sprites,
that you
yeah.
shoot in them. Yeah. Sprites. That's the word that I was looking for.
Yeah.
Very gorgeous still. Don't let that fool you. It is still very gorgeous and bloody.
Hell yeah. But I like a good shooter
Anyways.
that has a unique style, which that sounds like it's
Yes.
right up there.
Yes.
So, that's some great games that we all love. Glad you guys got recommended. If you are in the podcast listening or you're watching us on YouTube, please, down in the comments, let us know what is your favorite game. And if you play VRChat, what is your favorite world? Because I would love to know. You can also join us live at tvr.2006 in VRChat or in our Discord community, discord.gg/tvr, to see us do our podcast every couple weeks. Now,
We are always looking
the
for new game
plug.
or new worlds and games.
Yeah,
to
we're
play.
always looking for new games and worlds. So if you have any recommendations, please post them because we would love to hear your thoughts. Speaking of world recommendations, I would love to recommend to everybody who has not done this before to check out a VRChat world called Gold Guardians. This is one of my favorite game worlds because it's just such a unique concept. It is up to 10 players, so if you have more than 10, you might have to have some people sit around out. But it is a lot of fun. You get everyone in a circle, and then chests will spawn. Every player will start with 5 chests. let's say we're at the maximum 10 players, just to make it simple. So 10 players, 5 chests each, you get about 50 chests total. In those chests, it'll spawn gold, absolutely nothing, and fire. The gold is what you want to win the game if you are an adventurer, and the fire is what you want to win the game if you are a guardian. Guardians are trying to prevent the adventurers from finding their gold, but you can't really tell people that you're a guardian, otherwise they're never going to let you open chests. So it's kind of a game of deception that you're going to have to play.
All you have to do to play it is just say, "Oh yeah, I have 5 gold. Open my chests."
Yeah, I'm sure that'll work every time, like it did for
It
you every
will.
time.
Just say, "Oh, I'm sorry. I meant to say I had 4 gold."
Whoops.
That's wrong.
I misspoke. But
Yeah,
yeah.
I misread it.
But yeah, no. Like a typical game is like, I think it's 12 gold for a group of 10, and then you get 3 fire traps, and then the rest are all empty. And you have about 3 guardians versus the remaining 7 players. So it's a really interesting game of deception as you go. Is this person actually telling the truth? Are they lying? Why would they be lying? Are they lying because they're hiding gold? Are they lying to keep the guardians from though there's fire? And then you have to kind of make a guess. The other part of it is chance-based game, which is really interesting because you get 5 chests. You know what's in the chests, but you don't know which chests have what. So you can sit there and see, oh, I have 2 gold, 3 empty, but I don't know which of my 2 chests have the gold. So once you pick the person you want to open the chest from, it then will open. You go, ah, shoot, I missed it. I got one of the empty ones, unless they were lying. And then you have that deception
Yeah, it's very
in your
Town
head.
of Salem-esque.
Yeah, kind of Town of Salem in that aspect of that. And then whoever you open the chest from gets the key to open the next chest. So it becomes a game of, okay, I don't want to open that person's chest because I think they're bad, because then they might go after someone with the fire. So it's really, really
Me
fun.
asking my friendly guardians where the fire is.
Hey, Guardians, I'm a Guardian. Where is the fire at? Let me have it. Yeah, it's a really interesting concept. A lot of fun to play. What about you, Zyku?
Game, not the game. The world that I have in mind is another relaxing world. It's one of those worlds you go in to hang out and vibe. It's called Cozy Woods. I was actually there last night. I fell asleep in it. But essentially, it's a world that you spawn into, like a cool little cabin that's surrounded by little ponds with a pretty cool waterfall some space away. And there's tents and little secrets that you can go into to relax and just talk with people. Very relaxing world. There's even some what is it called? You can spend some V-Bucks and get access to like a VIP lounge.
V-Bucks.
Yeah, everybody
I
calls it
love
V-Bucks in
that.
VRChat.
Yeah, I mean they are. It's V and then it's $sign, but that's V-Bucks.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's so true.
It's game. It's intentional, carefully calculated.
Yeah, very
But
carefully calculated.
this world has some cool spaces just to hang out in and talk. It has like little kitchens. It has video player world or options. Multiple locations you can like watch things and hang out. It's overall great world, quest compatible, and check it out, Cozy Woods.
Yeah, that's
Nice.
our cozy maxing world for the podcast.
Man, I will say, I told myself in the beginning, I will never buy or spend a V-Buck in VRChat. And
Man, why
then
are you lying,
VRChat
bro?
went, hey, have a portal effect. And I was like, oh no.
Of course, you sat there like, yes,
FOMO.
waiter, more portal effects, please.
Oh, and by the way, you can only get this within the next 30 days.
Oh, that was the only downside. Yeah, I hate when they do that kind of shit.
The boy's hungry. Get him more FOMO.
Give me more FOMO. But that part didn't bother me too much. If I didn't want it, I wouldn't get it. I don't fall for FOMO very easily. But the part that really got me was, hey, you know that portal that you stare at every single day that you're in VRChat? What if you could make it look cooler? What if you could make it look better? And I'm like, you know what? I want that. And so I got it.
You son of a gun, I'm in.
I didn't get the first
Give
one
it to me.
because the first one I didn't really care for. the one that was like the
Yeah.
projection from the two machines. I was like, that's neat, but it's not really good looking. And then I saw the teleporting gate, and I was like, okay, you got me, VRChat. I'm sorry.
I want to
Shaking
see
my
what else
head.
they
You're
come up
such
with.
Yeah, no, I'm
pigs.
looking forward to seeing what the future holds when it comes to that stuff. All right.
Anyways, it's my turn now. Let me
Yee.
explain my world. So, there is this world in VRChat that no longer works. It's called Yes No Automated. It is a very simple world where you go in there into a room with a group of people. One person is selected. They are given a question, and they can either say yes or no to that question. The group is then offered that question, and they say, "What did the person who answered it say?" So the question could be, "Has this person ever, I don't know, ran away from home?" And the people don't know what the person said, so they have to
Yeah.
guess based on how well they know that person. Well, that world does not work anymore since a VRChat update some time ago, and also because it just hasn't been updated.
Yeah.
There has been though another world that has recently, I believe, been made,
Mm-hmm.
and it's getting updates too. The last update was 3 days ago, on the 13th of this month, but it is called Yes No Machine. It is pretty much the exact same world as the last one, with a couple of negatives to it, but it's pretty much still the same thing. Someone answers a question, everyone has to guess, what that person answered that question based on how well they know that person, and if they get it wrong, then they go to jail. And it just keeps going until one person wins. But
So true.
I am very, very happy to see a world like this up again, because I love worlds that make it easier for people to find out about each other.
Yeah, no, that's one of the really cool things, especially since it accepts so many players. I think you have like 70, 80 players playing that game at the same time, which is a big
Dang,
godsend.
bro. That's more than 1, 2, and 3 combined.
Oh, that's crazy. But yeah, no, it's really fun to see games like that, especially ones that, because one of the most popular ones in VRChat is Never Have I Ever, especially the Never Have I Ever automated, because you get to play it, you get to laugh when you see people move for certain things, and you can sit there and
Yeah.
say, "Oh, I never knew that about that person. I've learned a little bit about them," and you get to be closer
I
to
never knew
people.
they liked being called puppy.
Yeah, now I do. I'll probably never use that knowledge, but it's still neat to learn
I didn't know
about
they've
people.
been to jail before.
Yeah, exactly. And then you get a little like knowledge and learning, and you get to understand people better in VR, and it really kind of makes it more open and
Social.
social. Yeah. So Yes No is another great game like that, because it brings them up and you go, oh, would they say yes to having siblings, or would they say no to having siblings? And then you have to try to make your assumption based on the people you know, and then you learn things about people. Really, really fun. Plus, there was a glitch in that world that you and I discovered
Yeah,
where you could
you could
steal
put the
one of
thing
the
down.
plushies that was in the back room, or the back of the main lobby.
If the creator is listening,
Yeah,
please
if the
patch this
creator's
out.
listening, please listen. You go into the main lobby and you grab the fox figure or whatever it is, and you drag it into the jail room and then leave it there. And then once jail happens, you can place it on its side, jump onto it, and then jump through the jail windows and just run back out and keep playing. It completely breaks the mechanic of you go to jail. It's like, what jail? I don't see a jail. I'm back in the game. And it doesn't recognize you as already being in jail. It just thinks you're a player
Yeah.
again.
So it just lets you keep going.
It's rough, but it is funny. It was really funny when it happened. Everyone was cackling, and then we had to immediately
Just
stop
want
the
to say
game and
I
throw it
figured
out.
it out.
You did, yeah.
I was the one that figured it out.
Flat over here, the game tester.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah, that's been a lot of fun. I really appreciate all of you coming and listening with us and chilling. And really appreciate you, Movie, coming and giving us your opinion on everything. It was great to hear your
Yes,
thoughts,
yes.
especially as a fellow person who is really excited to get it, because I cannot wait. Supposed to be early 2026, not late 2026. Keep that promise, Steam, please. Um, and
Delayed by a year.
no, Don't do this.
GTA 6 style.
Don't do this. The GTA 6 was a whole mess. I
Yeah.
don't know if either of you have been following what's been going on with that, but apparently,
Oh, I have. It's messy. There's a bunch of like messy and stuff.
yeah,
But happening.
apparently one of the
Maybe we
things
could
that-
talk about that another time
Oh, you
because it
know
is a
what?
whole can of worms.
That's true. We might save that for another podcast. Well,
I think we're just going to see another AAA title or AAA studio just crash and burn. Hate to see it.
I hope it. I hope not. I do like
honestly,
Rockstar.
yeah, I love the way things are done, but I am also seeing the AAA space slowly depleting and dying as the indie scene is growing rapidly. I think this, just to briefly say this, I think that this year's Game of the Year awards is going to look very different from the previous years. I think it's going to be vastly more indie games than AAA games.
An indie company won Game of the Year last time.
They did, and that was huge.
Yeah, it
That
was huge.
absolutely
People were
huge.
angry that they won because they did it well. They made such a good game that people were angry that they.
Yeah, no, I agree. And
How can we afford to make good games? It's just not possible. We don't have the money.
yeah, no, I'm really
Alright,
excited
anyway.
to see the shift. But yeah, thank you all for chilling with us. Again, if you want to come hang with us, we always are welcome for new friends and new faces. You can come join us in our Discord at discord.gg/TVR, or you can join us on VRChat with our VR group, TVR.2006. Thank you so much, and I
Yeah.
hope to see you in a couple weeks.
Goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye.